That's about it. Does anyone have any questions about broker price opinions or any duties of a commercial agent right now with REOs? Anywhere between 7 and 10 days. You know, I had an instance last week where a Pearl Optical, I don't even know if they're out here or if they're in existence anymore, but vacant building, beautiful building. I did the BPO 6 months ago. I did the BPO last week. I couldn't get, there's always a BPO done by the agent, and there's a secondary BPO done by another agent. So that other agent couldn't get in because I rekeyed the building the day the redemption period expired. The previous owner came back and rekeyed again. He said, I'm not letting it go. I'm going to sell it, and I'm not letting this go on my credit. But I explained to him, who was a commercial broker, I explained him the Michigan laws and said, listen, if you're a commercial broker, you should know this, but I'll still explain it to you. This property is not yours anymore. He thought he could just keep rekeying and take it. So to answer your question, 7 to 10 days. There is instances where the bank is fully understanding and will let you take a little bit longer. You know, I just got this other agent. That was the 10th day. He waited till the 10th day to come do his BPO. He got there, couldn't do it. I got him another 10 days. So they're lenient. They're real people. You need to call them. You need to speak with them as people. You don't call and be a robot. You know, find out if they like the opera. Find out if they're an ex-hockey player. Find out if they like fishing. Find out how many kids they have. They're real people like you are. They need to know that you're a real person because they need to know you have a personality on the other side of the phone that can deal with someone who's buying a $30,000 property or a $30 million property. You know, it's very important. Go ahead.
Just curious, if your commercial was $5 a square foot, what's your residential down to at this point?
I was telling someone tonight, I sold a house last year for $300. I got paid a $4,500 commission. So these banks are realistic. They know you're not working for free, whether it's a commercial or a residential property. They are realistic. You will make money. I'm averaging 30 sales a month. I did over 350 properties last year. So, yeah, to brag to your friends at dinner, you know, glass of wine and cigar, how was your day? Well, I closed a deal for $300 today. They're going to laugh at you. You don't need to tell them you made $4,500. You need to know that you're in the REO industry. The money's there. Okay, at the end of the day, what did you sell, $50,000 property? Does that sound better to your friend? Who cares? You're going to get paid. Today is the 28th. You have a payment due on your house on the 1st. You miss that payment, if you don't pay within the next 30 days, someone will be driving past your house or your office or your apartment building because you didn't make that payment. BPOs are done every day. Sometimes you think it's a nosy neighbor or someone looking for the wrong address, whether it's an apartment building or a home. BPOs are ordered all the time. It's not a set agenda. You miss one payment, these banks in that fine print out of the 30-page, you know, lender docs that you sign at the title company. In there it says, you miss one payment, we have the right to proceed with full eviction and we can take over our property. Depending on your state, if you have a redemption period or not, I can go do a BPO today. They might make up their payment 31 days from now. They might miss it, you know, 62 days from now. I do another BPO. We've had it where we've done 5 BPOs in 5 months. Then we don't see that property again for a year and a half. Then it's in full-blown foreclosure. You know, it's nuts. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I hope you do 100 BPOs per property because you're going to get paid 100 times and then list it and then sell it.
In residential, you know, we evict everybody, the tenants in possession. What about commercial? If it's a strip center and there's tenants in there, do they leave them in place? Do you manage it? Do you collect the rent? How does that work?
REO banks are not REO management companies. Banks do not like to manage the properties. I don't like to manage the properties. I've had apartment buildings that were fully occupied, that have gone into default, and still are fully occupied. From anything from a gambling addiction to a drug addiction to a divorce, and that asset happened to be in the husband's name, and the lady wanted her husband to lose out on that property and didn't pay that mortgage. those properties, they definitely will, they will be managed one way or another. You're going to have to be individualized per property. You know, sometimes I still evict, even though they say they're paying. If it's well below market rent, I have a 6,000 square foot retail building. It's 3 units. What did the lady do in the last 6 months for her daycare? She knocked down the barrier wall between the first and second unit, and she expanded her daycare. Business is going great. She said she was paying $2,700 a month in rent, which, if that was the case, I was only listing the building for $149. Buy it. You're going to save money. You can get a mortgage, and you'll pay $1,300 a month with taxes, and you're going to own the building, okay? And she's going to pocket another $1,400 in her pocket. That woman was only paying $1,000 a month. That lady had a daycare that was not licensed. That lady had a daycare that was not, it didn't even have C of O with the city, certificate of occupancy. I gave her a 30-day notice. Do I feel bad? Sir, do I feel bad that these children, yes, it's not a good situation. I shouldn't say you can't have a heart, but I will tell you that you need to do the best thing for your client. That property is not properly managed with her in it. That property could get $100,000 in tickets and fines, or it could be seized by the city for running a business like that, having children in there and something that is not licensed.
So are you saying that they're evicting just like residential?
Yeah.
They'll clean out a 24-unit apartment building?
We do it every day. We cleaned out a 23-unit last week. We cleaned out a 14-unit, a 12-unit, and 8 out of 11 unit as well. Yeah, we're doing it. It's not worth it. 99% of the time they're paying way below market rents, and a lot of investors would like to come in with a new clean sweep because you don't want the hassle and the BS that they're going to give you. Oh, well, he used to do this for me, and he did that. That's not true. Show me a lease agreement. That's what I tell people. Every time we go to an apartment building, and 30 days before the bailiff comes, we knock on every door. I give business cards to everybody, and trust me, I have people with me that are protecting us. But I knock on every door, and I give them full notice. I mean, we don't care who it is. We had a building last week, 23 units. There were 8 pit bulls and Rottweilers in the basement. All right? I knew that they were protecting drugs in the room between the 2 dogs. They had Rottweilers in one room, pit bulls in the other, drugs in the middle. No one was going in that basement. I had to call the DEA. I had to call the Humane Society, and we had 10 bailiffs come to that property. All right, I didn't go there. I had work to do. It was a Saturday morning. I had my preservation guys go there. So, any other questions? Go ahead. Yes, they should be licensed. Yeah, they need to be licensed. Someone who's doing a rekey does not need to be licensed. If there's a HVAC unit stolen off the roof, or maybe they just disconnected it, but they saw some sirens, or they had a neighbor flash a light at them, and the unit's still on the roof, you need to have a licensed contractor come back and properly, adjacent that fixture to the property. I think there's a question over there.
I'm finding that a lot of the properties or the owners are going bankrupt, and you're having to deal with a lot of the receivers. I assume receivers can order the BPOs, or lender and receiver. The receivers basically are trying to sell the property prior to the foreclosure or in the bankruptcy court. I find a lot of that.
We see it as well. 99% of the time, you're just going to deal with one BPO from that lender. You're going to have a very nice attorney on the other side who just wants that headache off his desk. You're nice to them, they're nice to you. Just like a local inspector, call them immediately. Find out who their lawyer is. You don't want to talk to someone who doesn't know what's going on in their life, even though their life is turned upside down because of this bankruptcy or foreclosure. Deal with the intelligent or more knowledgeable person, the attorney. And sometimes you're going to deal with their family friend attorney, who's a criminal attorney, who's never dealt with a bankruptcy before, but is doing his first one. You need to know those things. Because you can even recommend to that attorney, hey, you'll still get a referral fee. Use this guy. He's a great guy in bankruptcies. You know, is it Chapter 7, 11, 13? Are you dealing with a residential property or commercial property? It all makes a difference.